Welcome back. So following on from part one, we showed you the car, which was the Polo, and I did mention that there is a overheating problem. So I've driven it for a few days and it does overheat. It gets to like above 90, and if you don't have the fans on full blast, as I said, it will overheat, and it's been doing it for a few days. I took the thermostat out and checked it, and it would appear it's the thermostat. So let me just show you the bits. Right, so this is the housing, which you can see, and then I've read up online about these cars. It's either the housing or the thermostat or a combination of both. Check the housing, seems to be okay. What looks like the issue is that housing, and you've got this small housing with the thermostat in the middle. So common test, put it in some boiling hot water and see if that rises. It never. When I collected it, well, got it out of the car, it was slightly risen. So I can't remember if pushing it open would open it, or closed open, or whichever way, I don't know. So I saw this one for about £8.50 from Euro Car Parts, which I thought was a bargain. But it isn't until you look inside the housing, and you can see the housing doesn't look too bad, but when you turn it this way, you can see, let me see if I can get some light. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. It's melted. So obviously there's a problem with the thermostat, because it's got that hot, the water travelling through, it's melted the inside. So when you put that in there, the little prong which is in the middle, it looked like it was fused to the inside, so it's never going to open or close. So annoyingly, I thought, I'll just get that part, which was £8, but I couldn't, so I had to get that part. Loads of places sold different parts. You could buy it all as one set, and you could buy that. I'm hoping that's fine. I know sometimes, if anybody knows about these cars, it's normally one or the other. I'm hoping that's fine. So I went online and I managed to get some parts. So these are not genuine, but they're a very good version, and lots of people use these. So we got the housing, which is, I didn't bring my tripod, bear with me. So there's the new housing, and it's slightly different design, which is better. There's no hole in the middle, but you can see once we put the new thermostat in, that's cool. So that comes with a new O-ring, and so does that. Okay. Wow. So yeah, so once that goes in there, ta-da! There you go. Oops, but just comparing the two, obviously that's completely down and that one's stuck up. I can't get that down anymore. So obviously it's just knackered. But anyway, you get the picture. That's the new housing. That can go in the bin. That can go in the bin. In fact, that needs to be attached to that. So I'm going to do that now. And then the next time you'll see this bit, it will be under the bonnet. Right, so we're working on this to sort out the overheating. Right, new thermostat and housing. Ran it up. Levels there, and it's still overheating. So I've checked the fan, and I've bridged it with that, and the fan works. So I can't understand what's the matter with it still, until I looked here. I'm hoping this is the issue. You can see there's no fuses, and this one here is the one for the fan. So it sticks them in and see if it cuts in, because the fan doesn't cut in. It doesn't overheat until it gets too hot, and then the fan's supposed to kick in, and it doesn't. God, I can't believe how much they cost me from Alfred's. Right, let's start it up and find out. Right, so I mentioned before that there's loads of lights on the dash. They've all gone out, apart from an engine check light. So now I need to wait for it to warm up. Right, so I'm in the car, and thankfully the two lights that were flashing up there have gone out, which was for the ABS. So for some reason someone took all the fuses out, which doesn't make sense to me. I can understand them taking the fuse out for the fan, because perhaps when it was running, because it was overheating, the fan was in constantly and it may not went off, probably flattened the battery. And also that engine check light is because I've had the battery on and off, and that I can reset that, so that's not a problem. But it's took out the main ones, and then that is the handbrake, thank God, so I'm really happy about that. So the temperature's there, and I had it on before and I got it up to 110 and then it flashed, so obviously it was overheating. So the solution now is to run it up, and hopefully it will overheat and the fan will kick in, because that will solve my problem. But the thermostat is definitely opening, because I've felt the tubes, the hoses, not the tubes, and you can feel the heat going through both of them, so they're definitely open. So what I'm going to do is give it some revs for a bit and then come back to you, hopefully with the fan going. Right, it's overheating now and the fan's still not kicking in. I will show you. So it's not the fuse, it's not the fan, because I've tested the fan. There you are, look. How far would it need to go? God, it can't be that far. I mean, the fan would have definitely kicked in by now. Now that's popped up. So it's not the fuse, never mind. On to the next, I suppose. Right, I need to turn it off. Let's turn the fan on. As you can see, it's definitely overheating. Looks like it's going to explode. Ow, that is definitely hot. And that's scalding too, so there's definitely water going through. I've tested this. Ow, fuck me, that was up. That works, so directly connected the battery, well, that battery to that. So, on to the next thing. Right, so we're on to the thermostat switch. So that's the old one. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. But I put the new one in, which was that brand from Euro Car Parts. It's a, is that a K or a AAS? Looks like a K. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it fits and it's right in line, though it's smaller than that one, so trying to get a spanner in there was impossible. So I had to use that, just literally lob it in. Took that hose off to get more room, but I'm hoping that to be it. We can get this back in. So there's no access. Well, there was access, but not a lot with that hose out the way. And these come in handy. But take them hose clips off. God hell. Whenever I overheat this on purpose, it's always a nightmare trying to open. That's why that slot's in there, because they must know. There we go. They must know it gets that hot, you can't open the bloody thing. Not that it's hot now. Right, let's take that old thermostat away. Right, we'll give it a start and see how we are. Right, this might not be that obvious to everyone, but I'm only using water at the moment, so we don't keep wasting cooling. So, I'm going to fill it back up. Right, a bit of a squeeze. Like this. Hopefully that's got some of the bubbles on. Right, now it's just a matter of it warming up again. So just leave it off until there's a few air bubbles coming through. And let it circulate until it warms up. Right, I'll come back to you if I have any improvement over the needle warming up. Right, so I've just got in the car and the engine's been running for practically seconds. According to the engine, it's already overheating. It's not even there yet. I've just put my hand on the hose and the bottom hose is cold and the top hose is hot. So I don't know. I'm guessing the new fan switch isn't even working, because it wouldn't be flashing now if it was alright. Oh, it just drives me up the wall, this thing does. Well, hello, the fan is working. I'm shocked. So, as you saw, the engine was overheating. I've changed the thermostat and it was still overheating. I bridged the thermostat wire that went into the radiator to trigger the fan to work constantly. It never worked in high, but it worked in low. So at least I know it was working. Plus I'd already bridged it previously with the battery. And I was at a bit of a loss to think I haven't got a clue what's going on. So bearing in mind I've bridged the wire, the fan's come on, now the pipe has recirculated all the hot water around, so it's going through both pipes and it's come back out. I have now just come in and the temperature, hang on. So the temperature is at normal, and I just went and looked down on the engine and lo and behold the fan is spinning. So I think by bridging that wire, it's kicked something into fruition and now it's starting to spin the fan. So I'm going to give it some revs, because this is what I just did a minute ago, and I can actually feel the car shake slightly, so it must have meant that the fan was coming on. And I walked past quickly and you can see the fan going. Right, let's go and have a look. Actually, I just quickly filmed before, but it was me with talking over it. Let's have a look if it's on now. Yay, there you go. As you can see, it's working, thank God. So I think that's on, just kicking out now. So it's getting to halfway and then kicking in. So it must be working. So it's doing its job. So let's see if I can try and get it to... Fan's on full speed after giving it some revs, so the fan's working. No more overheating. So it was the thermostat switch, and that's baking up. That's baking up. Fabulous. So it was a combination of the thermostat and the thermostat switch, which you can see. Oh, I'm happy. Right, so it's definitely working. I have just witnessed standing there for 5 minutes and I've witnessed it come on and then go off. So it's literally sticking it halfway. So now that we've sorting out the rest of the car will mean giving it a good clean, bit of a buff, because it's just, well, the paint will definitely need a buff because it's scratched. So I've got to give it a clean in here. I need to take it for a test drive to make sure it's running fine, which would be ideal as well. I've seen it's tax insured and MOT, and I've not used it at all. Just trying to think what else. Oh, we've sorted the dent out of the boot and then push it on. Anyway, see you in the next video.